In a desperate attempt to reclaim the word weird, Don Trump Jr. is back meddling in other people's families and business with recent critiques of how VP nominee Tim Walz hugs his wife. So you can see here in this tweet, Don Jr. saying, totally normal to greet your wife with a firm handshake and a bro hug slash back slap. Tim Walz isn't weird at all, you guys. Now, I said that at a largely normal pace of speech, but just imagine that I was coked out of my head. And then that's basically what it's like. Well, here is the video that he's critiquing right here. So they shook hands. They were on a stage. I mean, what do you want him to do to his wife in that moment? What would you find to be appropriate, Don Jr.? But thank you for talking about their relationship rather than just commenting on feet pics on the internet. That's a good turn for you. But anyway, look, it's weird to nitpick any of this, but weird moments on stage are a thing that happens, and Tim Walz isn't the only person that it's happened to. Let's turn to how Don Sr. handles these sorts of situations. Yeah, general awkwardness. And look, if we wanted to, we could do a 5-minute long thing of her swatting his hand away. There's tons of them. At the inauguration, we didn't do a bunch of them. Tim Walz might have had a slightly awkward moment, but you know what he doesn't have? A loveless transactional marriage. He doesn't have that, which is nice, I think, to not have that. Whereas Donald Trump has a lifetime of maybe Melania will be civil when a camera is rolling, and that's the best case scenario, and doesn't even really have that anymore because she'll never be seen in public with him.
A storm is tearing up the digital media industry. Only our audience can save us in these difficult times. Help us reach our goal of 100,000 new members at tyt.com/team.
She barely came to the RNC, and the only one about that, Francesca, and then I want you to come in, is when they're going down the steps from the plane and he like keeps trying to do it. I almost felt bad for him, actually. Like, I didn't think I was capable of feeling bad for Trump. Like, usually I think he's trying to hold her hand because like that's the image he's supposed to have and he wants the image. But like, what if it does deeply hurt him that like she has no interest, and that's it. He's not gonna have another marriage. He's too old. He could be dead any minute. And he is going to end his life having been in an absolutely loveless marriage that doesn't even have the base level of civility that it used to have. I almost felt bad for him and his broken family. What do you think?
Good. I mean, for E.G. and Carol's sake, good. I do not care about this man's love life. I do not care if he's loved back by his wife. He gets what he gives, man, and he gives absolute crap. Like, he does not care about his kids. He does not express except for Ivanka, who if he were younger, he'd be dating her, as he said in public, and we could all hear it, and we have video to remember it by. No, look, I think the Tim Walz thing, it's funny because judging by Tim Walz's wife's expression, you're like, oh yeah, this is a funny little formal way of greeting, because she goes like, oh yeah, and like puts her hand out, like responding to his handshake. And yeah, they're in, like, how many times has she greeted him on the campaign stage? Probably not a lot. So it's new for them. They're figuring it out. But yeah, the like handshake and a bat pack like is weirdly formal, but also, again, everyone is entitled, as you said, to their awkward moments. But when it keeps on happening again and again, when we know that if Donald Trump wins election again, is it re-election or is elected again, that Melania won't move to DC, is not gonna live with him in the White House? How is this not a bigger story for the right that loves to chide all of us for how we love, who we love, how we are choose to be with one another, like how we have sex with one another, all of this, whether we have kids, and then she's not doing the very basic thing, which is living in the same under the same roof as your husband? No, doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, I think for most people, if your approach to all of this is who cares, I totally understand that. But as you did, we're pointing out the massive hypocrisy that they don't take a day off of judging everyone's marriage.
Yes.
Everyone's sex, everyone's gender identity, everyone's orientation, everyone's everything. They are deeply interested. They are way more interested in the sex you're having than you are. And yet they worship the guy who has one of the most obviously fake marriages ever, where he has repeatedly cheated on her. He barely even tries to hide it. She, I think quite reasonably, wants nothing to do with him. He's on trial when the cover story is that he didn't have sex with Stormy Daniels, and she doesn't even show up because she doesn't even want to contribute to that myth that he didn't do it. She knows that he did it. He gets shot kind of a little. And then he's at the RNC the first day. She doesn't even come out with him because she doesn't care. She's like, I will give you one appearance at the RNC. So I guess it's gonna be Thursday. And that's it. And she's not gonna live with him because why would she? She doesn't see him when they're at Mar-a-Lago together. All of this is so obvious, and all of that's fine. Relationships come in different ways, healthy and loving. And then there's different sorts of relationships, but just stop pretending that you get to judge everyone else's marriage while you turn a blind eye to whatever the hell it is that they're getting up to. Thanks for watching our video. Did you know that you can support our show by becoming a subscriber? Just click the subscribe button and also ring the bell so that you get notifications when we're live or when we post new content.